Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think.
Well, we can share.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, we should be. Okay, let's call this board meeting to order. Thanks for coming. December 9th, 2025.
Vicky, don't make me put you in a corner.
Oh.
We're starting. It's a little bit later than 6, but we're starting. All right. I've been really busy, but not up here. I've been busy down in Mansalona area. We have a big water line project. They're trying to finish getting in the ground, even though it's 10 degrees down there. So, but we're getting close though. As of last week, we had 45 connections in phase 1 and 1 in phase 2, because we picked up one on Mack Avenue. We picked them up. It was much easier to get them off of Witt than it would be off of Mack Avenue. So he asked, and we left a lateral for him on Witt, and they hooked up with one last week. So, which is good. We need more stuff going to the Depot Beach lift station. There's like 7 houses hooked up to it, only 1 and now 2 year-rounders. So we need more volume going in there so that stuff doesn't get too nasty before it gets sent over to the plant.
What a great thought.
Yeah, you want the stuff fresh. You don't want it cooking. So we want them doing all the cooking on there.
So if Lance goes out of town, he can let us go over to his bathroom.
There you go.
To keep it moving, right?
Oh, yeah.
I was just saying, Laszlo, that you were hooked up, and it was a good thing. So we need more volume going to that Depot Beach lift station.
So work on your volume.
Yeah,
How much power you want me to take? Oh, yeah, come on over.
And then Matt's was planning to get 3 more this week over in the beach club. And then based on the weather and the holidays or anything else, that's going to be it. They have another 2 pages of people that they're going to be doing, but they all say to be scheduled later. And I confirmed with them yesterday that later means in the spring. So they're not going to be coming back.
But they are still taking contracts.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. They're still working with people. They'll come out to your house and check it out, and they'll give you an estimate. I know we had one. Actually, Matt's did not hook up Laszlo. It was in the lakes, I believe, that hooked you up, right? Yeah. So that was the first one they've done. So now we have 3 contractors that have been doing hookups. So that's good. We're starting to get the pool spread a little bit. So that's how that is going right now. Let's see what else. Sorry, I was so busy today. I didn't get up here till late. That's basically what we're doing on phase 1. We still are working through some issues with the property owners at Arthur and Constance. There's 16 properties that cannot hook up yet to that Arthur Street lift station. We're still working on that. I'm hoping for a resolution maybe by the end of January, but the attorneys are talking, so we're not allowed to talk to property owners. The attorneys for everybody are talking, so that's how that's being worked on. Let's see, phase 2, the Bolton subcontractor did not mobilize and get anything shot. They were hoping to at least get Witt Boulevard, but the weather just did not cooperate. I was not able to get a hold of them today to confirm that they're just going to be in the spring as well. But when I talked to them 2 weeks ago, they were still hoping to maybe get some work done that 3 days of the Thanksgiving week, which I seriously doubted they were actually going to do, and they didn't. And then the weather has just been crap since then. So, but they'll be starting up in the spring, And we don't know, it'll be based on when the frost laws come off. A lot of times by mid-April, but sometimes you never know. Even if it got warm now, I don't think anybody's gonna be doing any work. The frost is really starting to creep down in there. And what happens is, you know, they can break it open and stuff, but then they got a pile of frozen soil, and then we can't adequately compact that. So that's why they're hesitant to really break into much. Although here, it doesn't quite go as deep. But you might have some contractors that might want to do some hookups, but I wouldn't bank on it. What else?
Treatment plan?
Oh, yeah, that's the good news,
That's a
yeah.
big excitement.
Lower number 3 is operable. They got it finished up and working on Friday of last week. The only thing is, right now can only be used in a manual mode. They could not get it to sync with the new control panel, with the old control panels at the master. And so they're sending a USB stick to Mead and Hunt to see if they can manually download the stuff and get it talking properly. If that doesn't work, then we'll do a site visit. But we don't need a third blower right now, but one is available. It just has to be run manually, on and off when we need it. Right now, the plant's running on blower number 2. The reroute of the decant lines was being finished up today. And I think those will be operational tomorrow. And then they should be air test or water pressure testing the new water line for the little hydrant they're going to put over there. So they'll have a 2-inch line so they can actually have a decent water supply if they do need to clean a tank or fill a tank with water, do anything like that. So that should be finished up probably tomorrow or later this week. And we'll be pulling the job trailer out of there. And so we'll just come back in the spring for some punch list items. They have a little bit of paving to do up around the building. This is not paving weather these days. I don't think they got the gutters on the addition. They've been trying to get the gutter guy there, but it's probably not going to show up in spring at this point. And they'll have to redo some restoration after this line work on the decant lines. We are still planning to work with the township on going out with invitation for bids for the expansion of the building, for the additional storage, and the chemical storage, and some other items, but that'll probably be after the holidays, is my guess, is when we can get with them and work on that. I think there's really, after this week, there's not going to be really much going on for a while, it looks like. We are going to have one of our surveyors up here in the next week or two. We've got to get some information on that alley in between South and Holden, where we're going to be running some main line up there to help catch all those people. And so we need to get that so we can get the exact depths on the structures and the openings on the structures so that Walton can get those orders and have those ready in the spring. Spring and not at the last minute. I've been contacting people in phase 2 out on Western Barbara and out on Sturgeon Island. I still have a handful that have not completed their easement agreements, and so they're making phone calls and knocking on doors. And I think I've gotten 3 more in the last couple of weeks, and I'm still looking for about 3 more, but we're getting close to having one. So, all right, questions? Yes, sir.
Steve, we've been working with our architect in that property we have on Mac Avenue. We want to take a line up towards 27.
Right. Oh, right.
We're trying to fit in a 2-family there around, and if we can get the setbacks the way it is, would you want 2 separate laterals coming out, or do you want to come into the Wi-Fi out from the
This will be like the last one on the Mac
Correct.
alley, right? Over where there's a mound currently.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. We would probably recommend just leaving you a 6-inch
Okay.
that can handle both of that.
Okay.
And rather than try to run something even further, you have better You can go further with a 6-inch based on the slope.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
we've got good fall there, so we should be okay.
right. But,
And the reason I said that.
well, good fall, but that's gonna be the top of the line. That's the top of the hill. So,
Absolutely.
so,
And it
yeah.
all runs down. Yes.
The plan will be just, I can tell you right now, the plan will probably be just to leave you a
Didn't mean
6-inch.
to make you seem straight. But I didn't know if you wanted 2 laterals connecting to the main, or you want 1 lateral, or 2 laterals coming out that kind of white line.
In that situation, I would probably just say 1 6-inch lateral, because it's gonna be right at the corner of that lot. We really
Right.
can't go much further up.
Right, no, because then you hit the other house on the street.
I know we still have one we haven't talked to on, which one is that one, that duplex on, Chris? You remember? But there's a big field out back, and I don't know if they've got an outlet for each side of the duplex coming out
Okay.
like that. You know, if they're gonna want a 4 and a 4 on each end of the lot,
Right.
or do they want a 6 on one end of the lot, or do they want to flip it and 6 in the middle? But I do not have contact with them, so that's something I'm gonna be working on.
Our concern is the setbacks with the county zoning.
Okay.
But if we get a 2-family in there, that way we have more for year-round homes.
Workforce housing, affordable housing? Okay, good. I would support that.
Oh, yeah, no, that's, that's
Good.
2 2-bedroom units. 2-bedroom.
It's a big fight down in Charlotte, boys, and a lot of communities are. You know, people see, oh, housing's going up, you know, and it's like, oh, yeah, that's,
No.
it's expensive housing.
You're looking back at the ice cream shop, so it's not really. It's okay, it's not a big deal. Into the forest.
So then when you do throw sometimes, oh, yeah, there's an 8-plex like you. Oh, no, I don't want that by my house. No, no. Yeah.
So it'll definitely do. Correct.
Other questions? It's not a sewer meeting, Sally doesn't say anything.
I'm hooked up, I don't have
How you
any.
She's hooked up just fine, she's hooked up.
We're gonna do this, I'll bring the White Castle, we'll stop it, no problem. We'll make sure the volume jumps up.
Right, I think there are 2 of us.
Yeah, I want you to flush at least once an hour. Yeah, just keep it going.
Well, I run my water a lot. That'll be all winter, that's gonna be an interesting exercise.
I know, when Laszlo's contractor cut the end of the lateral, you got a pretty good whiff. But that stuff, what little is down at Depot Beach has been cooking for a while, and it's all that smells in those pipes, so.
So I want to thank you for that. That was a fast response because she was, after you called her, she was there. in 10 minutes.
Well, fortunately, yeah, I think it was late morning, right?
Yeah, sometimes around noon.
And I think Jen's usually over at the plant mostly morning through mid to late morning, and in the afternoon, it's harder to catch her because she's on to other places. But I called her, I was in Mansalona, but I called her and she said she'd run over there, so.
She was right there, so that was a good response, so. But yeah, there was a lot of water there, and it was.
Well, the water's up. That's the thing I know that, like Inland Lakes has mentioned it, Troop mentioned it, is that when we put all these in last year, it was dry, but it was also a very dry year. And so, but now, we left them as deep as we could for people, because a lot of these are gonna be long runs. And,
Well, the suggestion was that they should have ran some type of closer to the surface, you know, so we didn't have to dig so deep, but he was like 7 foot, even deeper, trying to get the water run somewhere so we can get to the pipe.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, we're gonna talk to Walton in phase 2, and we'll probably go ahead, because that's one of the things we do many times, especially if we have deeper laterals coming, we will run them up at a 45 close to the property, and then leave the tip of it maybe 4 feet down.
Or even a little.
And that lets the plumber or the contractor doing the hookup, they can intercept that 45. But most of these are like between 4.5 and 5 feet anyway. So it wasn't gonna be much of a turn, and we were trying to get them as deep as possible for people and get them right to the property line. If we put a 45 in, you know, if you leave it 10, you turn that 45 up 10 feet from the property line, and you leave it 4 feet at the property line, then your contractor has to go another 10 feet that way, because the deep one to intercept it. So we were trying to balance it to try to make it, you know, as cost effective for the homeowner as possible. But, you know, if we don't, it's gonna be as wet as it is now, then we probably would have, you know, done it different. So we'll probably have them turn a 45 on these, except for the ones that are really shallow.
There you go.
Do we have a problem with the flow when nobody's here like this now? And you're sitting going down.
I don't think it'll be a problem when we get all the year round this year. Right now, because we only have a fraction of people hooked up, we know there's enough year rounders, I think, to get some decent flow.
There's nothing all cook on there.
No.
So there's a search.
So if anybody wants to use my laundry, come on over.
Oh.
Sure, it's small fee.
It's a lot of that open up. No,
Yeah.
they'll have a size, right? Okay, so, June, we went through all the stuff that you sent us.
Oh, okay.
Some of it made more sense to Bob than to me, because he's in farming. So, I think the next step is to try to write the EER, and get it so that we can put out some sort of bid. Is that really the next step there for that?
So we'll have to look at that. It's been a few weeks since I looked at the,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Because it's like 7 years old.
Yeah.
And so a lot of it has to be.
updated and
Yeah,
and current,
yeah.
I mean, but at least the formats,
Formats pretty similar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
and
At
then,
least the continuity was there between all the bids.
right. And then, also, we did find phase 1 and phase 2 petitions, and we have that official legal verbiage. And I did work with the county on getting, you know, it talks about section 25, 24, which if you're looking at the map. And if we are going to go from, say, Marine Land all the way down and just make it one big section, and then at that point, based on interest, and or funding, we remember that was the driving force between this zone being split, was the funding mechanism. So I'm making a big presumption that may hold true out here, but if we're gonna get people on the ground out there to take petitions around, why wouldn't we go and do the whole fell swoop? Now, but the point I'm trying to make is that we have the legal verbiage of the actual petition, the legal petition, and we have the locations. Yeah, and we confirmed that with the county. So
Are those locations different than the original phase 3 that we did?
well, I've never found the official petitions for phase 3. What I found were the interest surveys.
Yes, because they had to be done first.
So it is different. It is
So
different.
it's a similar geographic, that's on.
Yes, so if you were to look, and I should have brought it, but we're so Christmassy. If you look, if you can visualize from above, from marine land, you know, the fingers out there, up to 27, down to the river, jump the river, and you're
Both
still,
sides all the way down.
yep, all the way down. And the club would be our boundary to the west there, of course, you know, all the way down to Burger King. And remembering that some of the people on club have the opportunity when their systems fail to, I believe, connect under club. And I think we found, did help me remember, we've been all over the map with this sewer. I think they have the opportunity, if their systems were to fail, they can go under and make
On
their,
the side of the
yeah, exactly.
Right.
I think there's some line
This side,
ones, yeah, those there. So, anyway, so,
That's
So
what
all of
Yeah.
club wasn't in the phase 3 that we did.
right.
Yeah.
And again, you know, those people have an option, but it's,
Right.
as long as you're gonna do it.
Oh, I get that.
Yeah, take it all.
Exactly, so just bring it all the way down, and then of course to the east would be, I-75.
Right.
It's quite a big swath.
It is,
and then we can go from there.
but that's the only way you can get to the 200 parcel. Fresh on the
Right, and I stuck in my head that 200 is that break even point. I didn't find anything except that seems to be, the documentation, the break even point.
Right, that's why phase 3 and 4, they were once phase 3, 4 combined.
Right,
Uh-huh.
right,
It was
So-
Aaron who suggested we do that.
right, yeah.
So,
So you have to have 200 people to,
We don't have to.
Close to at least.
Yeah, so I think out here, let me see, we've got phase 1, which is from Columbus Beach up the hill around down to Depot Beach is 204.
It's like 204,
Now, we're talking
190
about-
something.
One of the things that I do incorrectly is I say property, it's hookups. Or.
It's RUs.
Already, okay, so we'll say 200 and
Like the Pinehurst is, Pinehurst built, well, he's got 14 RUs.
Right.
2 are for the houses across the street, 12 are for the Pinehurst property.
right.
So,
So when we say 200, we're talking about REUs. Now, a home, a single-family home would be 1, but it's, you just described something such as the Pinehurst Inn would be more.
multiples.
Correct.
and a duplex would be 2, which normally, and a commercial business goes by, like, you're gonna replace the McDonald's, theirs would be 8, I believe, according to your,
I
to your code.
believe 7 or 8.
Yeah, I think, so, a car wash might be bigger, a laundromat might be bigger, a vet.
The Marines will be more than one, so there's 3 or 4 in the Marines.
So, and there's criteria
Okay.
that we have on that, but what we're talking about is when, and I'll defer to the engineers on this. We're talking acronyms, so it's PER is a pre-engineering report. Preliminary engineering report. It would be better to explain this, what that entails, and what you, because you did that with us.
It lays out the background, what's been done already, what the issues are. It has a lot of documentation that the Health Department Northwest is on record. Their information's in there and saying, yeah, this is an issue here. We support this. This is why we support it. It's got an assessment of the properties, what the RUs would be if this neighborhood were taken. It would be approximately 203 or 197. And then we have to go through the alternatives, what the different costs would be. The further you get into it like this, the alternatives really kind of focus and go down. It's not going to be like you would build a different system.
Not like start from
Yeah,
scratch.
yeah. And it would be, yes, and there's a sideline surge tank that was sized to accept another set of training.
So
So,
once you do that, that helps us with USDA, EPA, and
Oh.
this is the project scope.
Yeah.
And that will be your own bit.
and Trudy has mentioned several times over the last meetings that, we need to get some wins in, that'll help the score even more. If you can show that, yeah, phase 1 is substantially complete, and it's under budget, or only 1% over budget, whatever the final numbers come out to be, that stuff really helps.
Yeah.
If you come in and say, yeah, and phase 1 is, 75% complete, we're already 100 or 35% over budget, that's not gonna help.
No.
Yeah.
So, but
The
no, we're
majority of
looking,
these properties all face the river as well.
right.
So
Oh, yeah.
it's a big, yeah.
Yeah, and on the PERs that we put together for the initial phases, there was a lot of photos in there of the water in the ditches, the porta potties in people's backyards, because they, can't, and there was, what do you say, someone has a testimony, that they had snippets from people saying, I can't do laundry, in the summertime here, when I feel this, this,
The bowling up in back.
yeah, all,
Yeah.
all that stuff like that was included in there. But then there's the cost analysis, and then also what has to be included in there is how much, what's the assessment.
Right.
Can they afford this?
Yeah, that comes out of the PDR. They don't get
Yeah.
the hospital to do that.
Right, and all that stuff is
Yeah.
developed in there, just so that it can be done.
So to your question, if you and I have to share a $500,000 bill, that's a big bite. If all of us in this room share that same $500,000 bill, it's a smaller bite.
Yeah.
So we want to go with economies of scale. So again, looking historically back, it seems, and I will defer to the people at USDA who do this regularly. It seems 200 REU seems to be that point where it's affordable, and we can get funding. Would that be a fair
Yeah.
statement?
And some efficiencies of scale for
Correct.
engineering.
Correct.
Because I am in marine land.
Yes, I
and
know
I'm just
you are.
trying to figure
I know
out,
you've been waiting very patiently, and when you look at a topo map, or even just drive around or ride a bike or walk around, and even this time of year, you know, until our ground is really frozen, and one of the beautiful things about being along the water is it never really gets, the frost doesn't get that deep because the water's right there, right? When you look at a topo map or you know, drive around, walk around, you can see where the snow is melting more quickly because the water keeps things warmer, right? The ground
keeps flowing.
Exactly. So anyway, my point is, we know where our low areas are. You know, we know it's here. We know it's there. It makes sense that that's the next place to go. There are other areas who have also expressed an interest, but it makes sense to start here.
With the densities.
Correct.
And the contiguous.
Correct.
And from a constructability standpoint, we try to keep, especially in communities like this, try to chunk the projects into sizes that are competitive with local contractors. Here, local out in Indian River contractors, but like Northern Michigan contractors. And that's evident on this project. You know, all the extensions that we had were $2 million, $2.5 million projects. We had 4, 5, 6 bidders on all of those. We got up in the $4 to $5 million range with the wastewater plant. We had one bid. So we got that bid, and then we have to go back to the bargaining table with them and see what the best way to do was. I used to do that a lot at Alaska. I would take a $28 million project, I would break it up into 4 years, 4 phases, so that the local guys could afford to bid on. They had the bonding capacity to do it. They had the workforce in it. So we wouldn't get some big outfit out of Seattle that would charge an arm and a leg just for mobilization. So I'm used to that. So we won't want to go too big for several reasons.
But if we are going to pursue that preliminary engineering, again, looking at our community and the need and the waters and the flow of the water, it makes sense, again, the continuity of the project, the low area along the rivers, the density as you talk about, it just simply makes sense to do it that way.
Just say nothing, the old septic systems have not been updated there.
They're flowing right into
They're flooded right into the And we don't get a whole lot of water moving back in Greenland on the canals. There's no
No,
natural water point. So it's
our
it's
canal's
stagnant.
completely frozen over now,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
so it's already done.
yeah.
So it's stagnant back there.
Yeah, I think you could probably almost walk on it now, it's that good.
Yeah, but
Don't try.
Don't do it.
this is not going to be a good day for that.
Yeah, 2 kids, 3 kids tried that.
Yeah, I heard that, yeah.
So, and I, for me, looking at trying to understand the different projects and where you jump off at, in talking with Steve and Aaron, one of the big factors, in my opinion, for this zone that was then divided in half was that we had a plant that needed to double. It wasn't large enough. So that, you know, now we have that, and we've set ourselves up with that surge tank in the middle, that, you know, it seems these we can plop in 2 more, you know, it won't, my mind's eye and hope would be that to put 2 more trains in, so we've got A, B, C, D, and the surge tank in the middle to get us through, because this is not gonna be a.
Because this time of year doesn't mean.
That's
Come
correct,
July.
that's correct. But then when say we get 2, maybe it's divided in half, or maybe they were like, nope, get her done, we're gonna do the whole thing. Well, that would be overwhelming, but we have set ourselves up, the forethought was to set ourselves up that we can put 2 more trains to process sewage. So we have A, B, C, D, E, F.
And
I'm sorry.
everything is going perfect then.
Well, hope, but it would be going well. And, you know, and now to that, we would also have to have more rapid infiltration basins. We have 5, we would need,
Yeah, it's been a while since I looked at the numbers on that, but I know if we put 2 more trains in, we would need a few more.
right, and we would be, and we have the limit for that. That's, and we are in a really good location with our treatment plant.
Okay.
With the ground, the sand, the lay of the land. Eagle really likes the sand out
Yeah,
there.
that's, from a geographical standpoint, that's a really nice site
So,
for a plant that uses rapid infiltration
Yeah.
resources.
so, you know, we have some things already, some ticks in the dust now, in my opinion.
Okay.
But this is a slow project. Help me out here with 2012. Is that what we found? Chris, is that what we found in talking with Steve?
It was.
Yeah, we found that date, and I was taken back by that. But it-
That's why we wanted to
Yeah.
get forward on the PER and
Yeah.
get it started.
Yeah.
Because
And
we
who
know
knows,
it'll take us a while to get even all the materials
Right.
updated to send that PER.
Right, and so, you know, maybe things would move more quickly this time. I have no idea. This is new territory for me, this part of the project.
So in the wintertime, marine land, basically half, maybe more than that, go away? Is that gonna be rough on the system?
I don't think so.
No, should be all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I was asking that
Like,
earlier too about phase 1 and phase 2.
Even now, I think once all these 400 are hooked up, there's a good chance in the wintertime they'll probably still just be running on one half of the plant.
A big part of our capacity is to take the sewage from Burt Lake State Park.
Okay.
So that is, and they run from mid-May until mid-October. So that was a big, for our plant and plant operators, knowing they were coming off this fall, and we could do this addition and get the stir blower online, and it also then, once we got the new plant up and operating, we were able to drain the old plant and do much needed maintenance that had not been done since 2012.
I'm used to that kind of maintenance.
So-
That's not fun maintenance.
No, and you know, and it also, we realized that we were deficient in some things. You know, we needed we needed something greater than a garden hose to host down these tanks
Okay.
and this equipment. So we went ahead and put in this extra, I call it, so that it's bigger than this.
It's a small hydrant.
Yeah.
A blow off assembly, but it's basically a small hydrant.
And again, thinking future, you know, it has served us well. We've just outgrown it.
It happens everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I think we're in a good position to think down the road, dare we say, 10, 15 years, help me.
So is there enough in in marine land area that there's gonna be 200 of the RU?
There is, with the
The
originally,
tree's saying from the top all the way down to the bottom, wrap around will be at least 200.
Okay.
Yeah.
with,
least
they-
over.
yeah, with both sides of the river, that makes it.
And then all the way down
I
to
want to say
River
just
Canyon.
the north side of the 160 or something.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And it was like another 40 or something down south.
Yeah.
Uh-huh,
Yeah.
uh-huh. It's like
So-
179.
Right, right. And, you know, we have our work cut out for us.
Okay.
You know, so, and I'm leaning heavily into people that are more experienced than I am. We have many sitting here. So, and I know you're interested and I appreciate that. So it takes many hands, lots of boots on the ground.
Yeah, 'cause I still got a vacant lot over on Crooked Lane that I wanna put a house on.
Right. Right,
So you're gonna have the sewer there.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing there.
right, right.
Seasonal
Two inches,
causes.
that's a small hydrant you were talking about.
Well, it's a 2-inch assembly, just that's a 2-inch line, but physically, I haven't seen the one over there. I was there today, but I didn't see what it
Was
was.
it for washdown or was it for?
Yeah, it's mostly for doing wash down.
Okay, for gray water, if you use gray water through it?
No, this is coming off the bottom line. Yeah, this is coming off the main line. Generally, in the ones I've seen in the past, it's like maybe a hydrant that's only about that big around and maybe that tall.
Yeah.
It looks like a small skinny hydrant. if that's what they're using, I have not seen the one that they're.
We make all those, so I'm happy to donate as many as you need.
Oh, it's just,
Okay, because it's anti-freezing, correct? You buried below the cross line?
yeah, it should drain.
It drains below the cross line, so just let me know.
It's just a mini hydrant.
Yeah, I made them for 150 years, so.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now that I'm hooked up.
At your house, okay, welcome to your house.
Your house now.
Yeah, well, I'll bring my laundry.
I just feel really good about the fact that,
Well, I'll bring a water.
First on the block, right,
Sure,
Bob?
sure, no problem.
It's working. I am curious about the state park.
Yes.
Have they metered yet? Are they gonna be required to meter?
They are metered,
They are metered.
yes.
And has the contract been
We have,
renewed?
not yet. Yes. We have to look at that. That's been one of our winter projects and we're behind the eight ball on that one. But yeah, that is on our, high on our to-do list.
I think it's the January CPI figures.
Yes, we're waiting for that and, those may be difficult. We may be waiting for a while. Yeah, that contract is next year.
Because I'm really curious to find out what their usage really is.
Yeah.
Since I'm not going to be a paying member.
But in last year's usage wouldn't have been as great because the park wasn't open as long. Because they built it really nice.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, right.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with really, what we're really interested in is July 4th.
Of course, if you're looking for the peak, which is that. But where they fall in July, because my understanding was the park didn't fill up most of the summer because when they announced they were closed, they announced they were closed indefinitely. And so we had people who were staying, who had rented boats from us for the weeks they were going to be there and they started canceling.
Oh, I see.
So people made other arrangements to go on
That's somewhere
places, so when those announcements were made in April. So, I think we need to calibrate what it is with how full is the park. Make sure that we're really getting a true picture.
Well, we'll see a
Yeah.
couple of people.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure we'll see something,
Oh,
no
yeah.
doubt, no doubt.
Memorial Day weekend before, so.
And maybe even Labor Day.
In Memorial Day, we didn't busy, because they just
No, because they
opened,
were,
they
yeah,
were just beginning to open it, so yeah,
Yeah.
we would be busy.
yeah. The rest of us, I think, we're still trying to dig out as well. And
Yeah,
still in May.
yeah.
Any other questions?
Any news on the beach, what's coming on the beach as far as the veterans?
Well, the Parks Commission they will be looking at that this winter as well. They are looking at putting in some, I want to say modular, but it will be, I think, that gives the wrong image. I think they're looking at downsizing. They are looking at it, and I hate to speak for Parks because I'm not on that commission, but they are looking at it. They are looking at, I think, having a, if not unisex, help me out, I don't remember, path. We're on the Parks Commission.
I'm back here hiding.
I know you are addressing it all along, and I know it's on your radar to look at this winter for a bathroom. Yes, a bathroom will go in. We're just trying to figure out what the needs are, correct?
Well, we pretty much identified the needs, and we pretty much identified the type of bathrooms we're gonna put in.
Okay,
It's just the funding
okay,
that we're,
How are you gonna
and
go
we're
pretty
looking at, as one person mentioned, that July 4th, we'd like to have it done
right,
by the 4th of July because the crowds will get there.
right. Not holding you to this, and if you're not comfortable, I'm fine with you not answering. Any kind of a wild, very generous budget number,
I do not want to speak for the whole Parks Committee because there's going to be concrete slabs that have to be poured because the buildings we're looking at will not have a floor in it, so we can do the plumbing. So not knowing concrete costs and stuff, we're looking at about 25% of the original $100,000 cost we were looking at doing it this year.
okay. All right, fair enough.
Hey, Pat, I don't know if I don't know if anybody from the parks has been made aware of this, but like at the DDA meeting a couple of months ago, there was a woman who came for NADC and was talking about NADC grants that Indian River had not applied for any of them yet. We were one of the only communities that had them. And if it was for public good and if it was going to be ADA accessible, you could even get more money. There was a match to
The
it.
problem with the MADC right now is with their audits that's going on, they aren't letting grants out like that. And we're looking at that
She came to speak at the end.
mid-year deadline to get this done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I get it.
How
Yeah.
many holes do you talk, two on each side or one on each side?
Say that again,
How
Bob.
many holes, basically, men and women?
How many
Two on
more?
one side, two on the other, or one on each side, or?
There's gonna be, that has not really been decided. We're looking at two separate buildings. Think of the, storage buildings up there, by something like that. And we haven't decided how, it's gonna be at least two for the men and probably four for the women.
Okay. And you want one that will just drop in place right on the sled, right?
Well, the building has to drop in place first, so the plumbing can be done, and backfill the sand and stuff, and then pour the slab as the plumbing.
Okay. But these are gonna be connected to the sewer, right? Or-
yes, sir.
Okay, so they will.
Yeah, they're within, what, 50 feet of the lift station.
Okay. Do you want a shower on the outside, maybe?
We have discussed the shower, and our concern there is people wouldn't shut it off.
Okay, well, we
And
manufacture
we've
time
also
for
talked about
Yeah.
whether we're even gonna have hot water or just warm water.
Okay. Well, let's talk, because I've got people that manufacture these buildings.
I'm sure you.
Well,
You got a little
we
background there.
provide all the stainless fixtures and everything for them, so it's not, basically you pour the slab, you run the utilities up the top, and then you make the connection when the building comes, drops down in place.
And the prefab.
Yeah.
Prefab.
And either concrete or wood, but that concrete would be nicer, because that way you're not worried about rot or mold.
Right.
Well, we'll talk,
Yeah.
I'll send you what I got. I'll send you what I got. And I can always get a show special for one of
Yeah.
the pictures.
Any input's greatly appreciated.
Yeah, it's more.
Yeah, good, sounds good. And Pat, I apologize if I haven't looped you in on this. I've been trying to make connections with, we had, through DDA, we've had a consumers energy community liaison, the DTE community liaison. We have yet to make connection with the Enbridge community liaison. And there might be one more. All are very interested in helping. They have funding available. They are interested in helping to support some sort of a community event or something like this. Where they have part of, obviously, and I'll mention Enbridge because it's a hot topic right now, but we all know we have an Enbridge tunnel, a line that runs through our community. They are very aware of this. They have grant funding available, and I don't remember off the top of my head what that dollar amount is. They like to give it locally. Chris and I looked earlier this year, and there had never been any funds requested by our region. So the requests are going to the west side of the state. And yet, within walking distance,
Right in our backyard, yes.
thank you very much. So again, we've reached out, they're very interested in partnering. Chris, I think you said one with me, but that was DTE. They're very receptive to our requests. We just need to get through the holiday season with our families, catch our breath, and then bring this information back up and see what might work.
The other one was the lines, but I can't remember. what
Oh,
that's
yes, and
called.
yes, thank you, ITPC or ITC or something like that. So all of the lines that run through our community, bringing electricity and other goodies, they too like to partner with communities. She said what works well for them is if they are going to be replacing lines, she said that's a great time to hit us up for money. But she's a great gal, she's in the region regularly, so so we have 4 sources potentially to partner with us. We have a number of projects in place, and DBA has a big project afoot, and they're starting to write their RFP for that for the Safe Path safe routes to school pathway extension. We have the parks with their bathroom project, and we have other needs as well. So I think we're, we have our work cut out for us. We have the sewer finished, we have that, and then the next phase of this. So we'll be busy. Very busy. Yeah. Thanks, Pat. Any other questions or comments?
Well, we did the surveys before, and I know that you have to be redone, but, the parcel that's, the ramp that has bathrooms.
Oh, the boat ramp.
The
Yeah.
boat ramp.
That's another one that we could,
I mean, if we're gonna run it
Yeah,
down now.
absolutely. And they're somewhere in one of our many projects was putting that on, maybe it was on the CIP list. Yeah, absolutely. That would definitely go on. Yeah.
Those are in here.
Oh, yeah, yes,
They're
yeah,
actually
yeah, yeah. And you can attest to the volume of traffic through that.
Oh, yeah, and I get a lot of people overflow into my bathrooms because of those bathrooms.
Right.
So.
Right, yeah, so no, that's another one, so we can get two for there. And I think that's a one home.
Yeah, it's one on each side.
Yeah.
And maybe it doesn't need to be bigger, maybe 3 and just make them questions.
Exactly.
You know, it doesn't have to
Yeah,
go to multiples of 4 then, you
Right.
know?
right. Okay, thank you for coming, stick around till 7:00. Grant and Sounds good, thank you.
Are we gonna have a January meeting? Or-
Yes.
We are, even though, okay.
Well, I mean,